Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Return of the Obra Dinn, which today we are playing on a Macintosh. We've made it back around the cycle. There are 6 different monitor colours, and so with this episode 7, we're starting from the beginning of the loop. Though I have decided that I'm going to be removing the blue and the green colours from the loop because of a combination of messing with people's eyes and messing with YouTube. YouTube really didn't like the green. It utterly butchered it, so we can't have that again, and a lot of people were unhappy about the blue. So we'll leave the blue out as well, unless suddenly there's a big outcry for more piercing blue monitor application. Also, one other thing to mention, I'm going to reiterate something I said before. Don't spoil things. Stop with the spoilers. I keep spotting people in the comments getting more and more confident, let's say, about telling me what the answers are. Don't do that. And don't sneakily hint about clues and stuff because you just end up making it obvious. I want to work out the game for myself, so just let me do that. Talk about your experiences finding out the same stuff after I've found out the stuff, and so on. Don't give me clues or hints unless I ask for them, and if you want to give any advice, then it should only be about mechanical stuff or just things that I've got wrong because I've misunderstood something. But don't tell me, for example, the answer to which one of these I can work out, because I would prefer to work it out myself, and indeed between episodes I have done so, and I managed to do it without, well, because I didn't pay attention to the specific comments referencing this particular guy I saw. Don't do that. Just making it extra clear, because I've said it once and people are still spoiling. The whole point of this game is to work out who the people are. I'd like to do that, because I can only do that once, because then I'll know. That's the thing about games like this. You can only play them once. If you ever want to play them again, you've got to, ignore the game's existence for years so that you genuinely forget and can experience it again. And even then, you'll probably end up not having the same experience the second time round. So, shh. Leave it. Don't ruin my experience of the game, please. I'm having tons of fun with this. So, here we are in the scene at the start of, what is it called? I forgot. A Bitter Cold, that is the one. Only 2 deaths in this one via illness, but the thing about this particular chapter is this one isn't, the issue with this one isn't working out who died. It's ridiculously easy. You can literally see their faces in their numbered hammocks. The important key reason that this chapter exists is to give us clues about everything else. And I've been having a look around, and like I said, I've been noting down all of the numbers and everything that appear on the hammocks in here, and I've worked out a few more things, so we're going to go through them, put them in, and see how it goes. So, I went round and I looked at every single number and every single hammock that you can see, and I put them all down on a deck plan, and I realised something. Between this deck plan and the one on the Doom Part 2, there is a complete list of all crew from Topman to Seaman. They are all there. Except for a couple of exceptions, which I think give us some more hints about what's going to be happening. Another thing I've realised is that between those 2 scenes, no one moves their hammock from their particular row. So, these guys here, just as an example, if they appear in this scene and the last scene, then even if one of them dies, the other one will still be here, even if he might be a couple of nails further along and stuff like that. Everyone stays within their grouping, so that each one of these is like a group. No one leaves that, based on the numbers that are consistent between the 2. And when you combine them, you get all of them, because of course in this scene we can't see these 4 on the end, but it just so happens that in the Doom Part 2, all 4 of these hammocks are strung up and have their numbers, and so I just literally went through the crew manifest number by number and found out which ones weren't here, and there are only 3. So the numbers are number 50, that is a man called John Naples. No idea about him. My suspicion is that he dies in Chapter 1, because this is the second chapter, so some people have died already. Not sure how many, but I think that John Naples at some point died, and the fact that he's not here now is the clue to who he is later on in the past, I suppose. Next up, we have number 60, end of the list. That is Samuel Peters. Now, we know something about how he dies. We know that it's something to do with ropes, and an accident, and Lars Linda. He is blamed by Nathan Peters, but obviously not blamed enough to be executed or punished for it or anything like that. It seems like he goes on normally, so it's probably an accident, but Lars was nearby and maybe could have prevented it or something like that. So I'm guessing that is another thing that happens in Chapter 1, that the death of Samuel Peters happens then, and it takes until Lars tries to escape with Nathan that Nathan finally decides to take his revenge, and he says as much. He says that he should have done this a long time ago, so it must have happened early on in the voyage. The final one is number 52, and I think I know what's up with that, because wait, no, I'm getting turned around. By the way, this scene messes with you, because that table there is not the same as the table in the Doom Part 2. In the Doom Part 2, the table is here, just to confuse you, so I got very turned around at the start and then worked out where I was going wrong. So number 52 is one of the 4 Indian seamen, and the thing is that all 4 of them are here. So the numbers we have are 53, 51, 54, and then X. So X surely is 52, and it fits with everything else because these 4 faces are all together in the the sketch, and they're all together right now, and the numbers are all together, and basically it all just adds up that this must be, well, this must be the hammock for number 52, and the guy sat in it, so this guy must be number 52, and the other reason for that is that the only unoccupied hammock in this entire scene, except these 3 where these people are obviously the ones corresponding, is this hammock here, which means that it must be this guy. He must have got out of his hammock there, gone up to check on his friend, and then his friend died. And again, they are seen together in multiple cases, so surely that's what's going on. So this guy's number 53, and this guy's number 52. So we can give them their names. And indeed, if you look on the crew thing, they say they can be identified. So that's another reason to assume that we've got these ones covered. So this guy is number 51. So let's find him. Number 50. Or have I... Oh, hold on. Did I get the number wrong? Or maybe this is more complicated than I thought. Oh. Oh, that's 53. Now I'm just miscounting. Odd numbers, easy to get mixed up. 1 and 3, they're very close to each other. You know. Okay, this is 53. There we go. For a second, all my plans came crashing down, but we're fine. This is William Wesson. So there we go. Don't know anything about how he dies, so we'll leave that there. And then the other guy is the other one here. Now, we do know his fate, so when we give him his name, that's another one on the list. Ready to be put into type. Yeah, this is a 3 difficulty, and I'm wondering why, because they're together on the sketch, and they're together right there. Everything seems to point to it. Even though the number isn't there, I wouldn't call this a 3 difficulty. Definitely not at this stage. But yeah, I'm going to give him his name, and I'm pretty sure this is correct. I'm confident that this is correct. So this is Abraham Akbar. They're all from India. They're all seamen. It makes sense that it would be together here and everywhere else. So that's what I'm going with. So that didn't immediately get us an activation, because I think that's the only one we have right now. We don't have 3 ready. So there is more to work out here. So we're guessing that John Naples and Sam Peters die earlier on. So we can't do anything with that yet. It's just something to bear in mind for later. When we see people die, we can try and work out who they are and so on. The next thing is these guys over here. So we know these are Russian. We hear 2 of them speaking. We can assume that all 3 of them are. That's clearly what the game's trying to indicate to us. And then we have the numbers here, which are 45, 46, and 47. So I was thinking initially the only way I'd be able to work out who was by uniform, because one of them is a top man and the other 2 are seamen. Now this guy is a different uniform, so that was the biggest clue. He seems to have something darker coloured, but I wasn't happy to go with just that. But when I checked between the 2 different plans from this scene and the Doom Part 2, I realised only one of the Russians makes it that far. Only one of these 3 hammocks is still strung up, and that is number 45. So we know that whoever is still alive in the Doom must be sleeping in number 45, and so that would be the one that appears in more than one scene. This guy, if we check, 1 memory, this one, this guy, 1 memory, this one. This guy, we know him, he's the guy playing cards, And when we look, 8 memories, and we in fact know his entire fate. So we know this guy is number 45 because he's the only one whose hammock is still standing at that stage of the game. So he is Leonid Volkov, a top man from Russia. And there we go. And we can actually, I suppose, give roles to these remaining people here. I believe these are both seamen. Let me just check. Actually, I can check when I go into the crew manifest while assigning it. Oh, it's not letting me, actually. You don't have sufficient information to determine this person's identity. Await further clues. Please explain. Try anyways. I'm going to try anyway. And I'm going to say that he is... Let me check the roles. Yeah, so it's going to be seaman because it's one of these two. So, unknown seaman. And the other guy, I'll just go up to where he is. Yep, there's Leonid. And then the other guy. Try anyways. And there we go. First time I've used that feature, but it seems like a reasonable time to do it. So, I believe that's everything I had worked out there. I've also made a note of this pipe here. This is hanging off hammock number 47. So, I guess the distinguishing factor later on in the game between, well, to work out who is who out of these two and which hammock belongs to which is at some point one of them's going to have a pipe. So there we go. And then also we have this guy over here. He's got a tattoo. And I know because we have the number here, number 37, that that guy there is Timothy Butterman. And I don't know if we've heard that name before. I feel like that's come up at some point, but perhaps it was me getting confused about something else. But that is something to bear in mind, that if we see a guy out and about with that tattoo, that's Timothy Butterman, and we can work out some more. I mean, perhaps he's appearing later on in the story. In fact, maybe we can work this out right now. Let's see. This guy here, don't see a tattoo on him, because there are some people here, maybe only the one actually, but there are people whose names are unblurred. This is one of them. He was shot by the cannon, by the beast, very confusing death, and just turned to mist. But apparently we can work out who he is. Having a bit more of a look around. This guy over here we can apparently work out as well. Does he have a tattoo on his arm? It looks like there's something on his arm. I see like a black mark, but it doesn't look like a tattoo of a lady. It just looks like a weird smudge. So, can't be quite sure with that. The shoes might be usable to identify them, because there are different shoes on the different people. I had a bit of a look at that, but there's too many different shoes to really be able to make notes of it, I feel like, yet. Also, it's interesting that this guy here is still unblurred, even though we've identified the first, second, and third, the first, second, and third mates. And this guy's surely the fourth mate, but I guess we haven't seen him yet, so we're not supposed to make that sort of guess at this stage. We've got all the midshipmen worked out. This guy we still don't know. It's getting really frustrating because he's such a distinctive person and we still have no idea. This guy we suspect is the French what do you call it? The French bosun's mate. That's it. Though saying that, there is one issue here, because when the guy asked where his Frenchman was, this guy here, they said he was torn apart by the beast. This guy was shot by a cannon by the beast. Now maybe these people are just like keeping it brief because describing that situation is a little bit weird. But that means that I'm not 100% sure that's the guy, and that's why another reason why I'm leaving it. I mean, it's also saying that I can't work it out, so I think we're not quite sure yet. It might be that the hat is unrelated. Like, it's a different shape of top hat for a start. That's a thin one. That's a much wider, shorter one. It looks like they're not necessarily the symbol of being a bosun. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe if I googled it, they will be, but it's not been made clear yet in the game. And yeah, that is everyone. So basically, we've just got these two people here. We can apparently work out who is who. So I'm going to give this a shot. What have we seen this guy in? We've seen him in 4 memories. So let's take a closer look at exactly which ones. So we see him. He's around in the Doom Part 2. He's at the table, I believe. At the table, playing cards or drinking or something. I think just drinking. So that would narrow him down, but not fantastically, because it would narrow him down to either 41 or question mark, because there was a hammock that didn't have a number on it there. But knowing that everyone keeps the same positions they normally do, and the guy particularly was sat here. So this was 41, and this was the one that didn't have a number on it. Going back to this earlier scene that we're now in, 41 is still there, as well as 40 and 39. And over here we have 38 and 59. And we don't know what happens to either of these people yet. But if one of them dies, we narrow it down and we know which one is left standing. And then we know what number this one's supposed to be. And then we're down to one of those two numbers and 41. Maybe we can get it further than that. So he's one of those two. Maybe we can work out that he's 41 and that helps us there. Yeah, he's here just helping load the gun, or it's all falling apart around him. And then he dies here. And then he's in another scene, which I think is this current one we're in now. I think. Or is he? Where is the other scene? It said 4, didn't it? Oh, aha. Oh yeah, Bitter Cold Part 1. So yeah, he's here. He's here, and maybe... Now that doesn't help us, because... Oh, actually, maybe it does. Let me go over here. So, he is in... Actually, I think Hammock 41, they're dead. Wait, who's number 41? Maybe we're already narrowing it down. Go. Flip to the front. Who's number 41? Because I've actually got them marked as dead. Wei Li. Okay, so Wei Li was one of the two people at the table. So we're close, but unfortunately the guy... His hammock wasn't numbered. So he's either 38 or 59. 38 is Huang Li, top man from China, and 59 is George Shirley, seaman from England. I don't know if there's a way of working out his nationality based on appearance. There was nothing clear to me when I looked. Let's go back to the sketch. It's not clear to me. He's just sat there. He's playing dice. That doesn't give us anything, I don't think. That guy there and this guy here. He was one of the people who went on the boat and got drowned by the Kraken. Which means he was either 36 or 57. Which is either Omid Gul, who's Persian and a top man, or Alexander Booth, who's from England and a seaman. We don't know which one of the two. His clothing might give some clues. He's like, it's somewhat distinctive, that thing, this weird collar. Other people have it too. This guy here has it. Does this guy have it? Because he's a top man. That would narrow it down. If that's a top man's uniform, we know who it is. This guy's a top man and he looks to be sharing the same thing. Nathan Peters is also a top man. That looks like another similar uniform. Oh no, he's a seaman. No, hold on. Is it the same actually? That's sort of whiter. These have sort of darker patches to them. They've got like white stripes, which is what we have here, and then mostly darker. Do we know any other top men yet? I'm not sure we do. Oh, Wei Li. Oh, he's got a different thing on. His just looks to be white with a black collar. And he's from China, so maybe they've got a different thing they wear. I don't think we're quite there, but the game says that we are. So I don't want to just drop it when the chance we could have it. What's his difficulty? It's 3. That's fair. That makes me feel better. Maybe we work out this guy. Maybe we switch to him for a minute. He's in 13 memories. And yet he's still difficulty 3, so this could take some searching. Maybe this one's going to be a bit too difficult for us at this stage. Because there's just so much to see. But let's take a look at his history. Yeah, he goes all over the place. So he's in this scene. He's asleep somewhere. We don't know who he is, but it sort of narrows it down a tiny bit. But then every number that there can be is basically on that deck, and the number is the key. We need to work out the corresponding number. Oh, he might have a tattoo, actually. We need to get into one of these scenes and just take a look at his arm. He's right here at the end. Should we go back to the end? It's been a while. Let's go visit the end. I'm going to leave this scene because I think we've got all we can from it for now. But yeah, we know... Oh, the shoes, the shoes. These two guys here, these are... let me check. Yeah, this is 59 and 38. One of them is the guy we see in the sketch. This guy has sort of dark shoes that don't cover much, sort of open at the top, or it's a white patch at the top. This guy has closed shoes with sort of buttons on them. Okay, so can we get a sneak in here at their head? Not quite. I did notice earlier, where is it? Somewhere down here. This guy, you can clip through this chest and look in here. And you can see what appears to be a mostly bald head, maybe with a small amount of hair on it. I don't know if that's intentional, whether you're supposed to be able to see anything. But the thing is that this is number 36, and 36 were on the boat that escaped. Or failed to escape, indeed. So he is one of the two people, Omid Ghoul or Alexander Booth. So that's another thing. Getting hard to keep track of some of this stuff, but yeah, we'll leave this scene for now. I'm going to go over to the end. Let's go to the end, part 1, and have a look at that guy's arm. Which is right up at the top of the ship. The very first corpse, in fact. We're going right back to the beginning for this. Here we go. The end, part 1 of 4. Here we are, the captain.
Captain, open the door.
I'm getting less favourable of the guy at this point, I'm going to be honest. Because he doesn't seem to be... I mean, like, he was letting those people leave on the boat. But also, he's killing a lot of people. Right, you. I don't see anything on your arm. Was it on the inside of your arm? Let's have a look around from behind. But it looks like this isn't the guy. So, the guy that we see in the sketch is not the guy with the tattoo. That's somebody else. Damn. So I don't think we can work out who this guy is. As many times as we've seen him, can we look at his shoes? Let me see the shoes. I can't see them very well. I think I actually want to look in the next scene along. Oh, he's the guy with the mark on his head. Yes. That's the way to work him out. That's his distinctive feature. Yeah, all these guys here we've got sorted, I believe. Yep, that's Brennan. That's the second mate. Oh no, the first mate even. Oh, that's the point. Yeah, I realised there's the second and fourth mate to account for. Now I think about it, that's what I got confused about before. Okay, so it's not that guy. It's someone else somewhere has a tattoo. Maybe we haven't seen him yet, but yeah, so the tattoo isn't the clue for that guy, but we still have tons of scenes with this guy in it. He does look like he's got something on his arm there, but as we've seen, his arm is blank. There's nothing there. So, go back to the deck map. Let's look through his scenes. So, he's in the Doom Part 2. We know that. Looking where... that narrows it down, actually. That guy could be 44, 45. I think those are the only two. And we've just got rid of 45. I think this... maybe we have him that way. If he's still alive in the Doom, and obviously he's still alive in the Doom, and he's one of the people in the hammocks during the Doom, yeah. We've actually narrowed it down enough that there is only one person left accounted for who is not visible but sleeping in their hammock, and that is number 44. So I wish I could show you my chart now, but basically, we have X still here, And also, that was another reason why I forgot, between episodes when I was working things out, the Indian guy that was in Hammock X, he lives to the doom, and he dies during the doom, and Hammock X is still strung up. That was the other reason that I was sure that that was the right guy. So that's why we know that the X is 52, because where else is 52? He lives that long, it seems. I think, oh, does that make sense? Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm getting confused now. But either way, I added up the X is supposed to be 52, and I guess someone lost the tag and put another tag on it with the X on it. But yes, everyone else who's in the hammock, we got 56. Forget how he dies, but I've marked him as dead on my chart. We have 43, which I think is Maba. And 44. And 45. 45 is the Russian guy, so we know about him. So 44 is the only one left. 44 has to be that guy. It lists him as present in this, though, a bitter cold, which is slightly weird. I mean, we see their feet in that. The feet of the people at the end of the deck are visible, so perhaps they count as being in the scene. I might just check. We go to a bitter cold. How many present? 22. Should we hop in and count? Actually, I can count my chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yes, it adds up. The 4 people who you can see the feet of in a bitter cold are the people in the hammocks on count towards the 22 present, which means that he would count as being present in the scene, even though all you can see are his feet. So I think that guy is number 44. So we've lost him in the book now. Actually, I guess he's only in this section. Or does he? No, he dies, yeah. So this will be complete. If we mark this down, it'll be complete. So I think he's number 44, and number 44 is Lewis Walker, top man from England. He looks like he has the top man sort of uniform, maybe. No, actually, it's not the same. I don't know. I don't know about the uniforms. They don't seem as reliable as I was hoping. Or as anyone was saying they would be. But let's mark it. Well done. 3 more fates correct. Achievements unlocked. The end. Lewis Walker Topman was clubbed by Captain Robert Witterell. Abraham Akbar Seaman was crushed by a terrible beast. He was in Hammock X. And Leonid Volkov Topman was shot by a gun by Emily, what's-her-face? 21 fates solved. I've forgotten her name. I think it was Emily something. I'm gonna find it. Emily Jackson, that's the one. Oh. And also, let's back out of this. So if we flip to the end, I want to look into a bit more of the glossary, because we haven't been paying much attention to this, and maybe we should have been. So Topman, higher rated seaman specializing in work above the deck in the sails and rigging. So it doesn't mention any uniform stuff there. Seaman, low-level crew member responsible for general manual labor on below deck. So it doesn't mention any of that stuff. It mentions rigging, the network of ropes and chains supporting the masts and used for working the sails. In case you somehow didn't know what rigging was, I guess maybe in this day and age you might not. Main deck, top deck of the ship exposed to the weather. Gun deck, the deck carrying the ship's guns and lined with portals for their firing. Orlop deck, mid deck above the lowest deck, containing storage, cabins, animal pens, and the ship's steering tiller. Doesn't mention the lowest deck, interestingly enough, unless there's another page. No, that's it. Wonder why it doesn't talk about that. We know about steward, their assistants to the higher ranking crew. Helmsman's the one running it. Midshipman officer in training. We have all those sorted, so we know what's happening with that. Carpenter, tradesman responsible for maintaining the integrity of the ship's wooden structures. Surgeon, the ship's doctor in charge of crew health, capable of general care and medical procedures as required. Purser, administrative official, accounts for all cargo value and trade transactions, manages a small item store for crew. There we go, that was one I actually could do with knowing. Gunner, military officer in charge of weapons and military procedures on the ship. Bosun, alternative boatswain or bosun? I don't know. Foreman in charge of general crew operations and the equipment required to sail the ship. I looked that up on Wikipedia, that's how I knew that stuff. Mate, officer or tradesman that supports and issues their superior. General mates help to run the ship and serve at the captain's request. Tradesman mates serve their superior. So, bosun's mate, gunner's mate, so on. Captain, head officer in command of the ship, responsible for directing the other officers and ensuring the success and safety of the ship's voyage. There we go, finally got all that read. We'll hop back to the to the beginning. Now, I need to mark some stuff on my sheet because I'm getting behind and it was confusing me while I was working things out. 45 is accounted for, so cross that one out. 44 is accounted for, so cross that one out. I think that's everything up to date. Actually, oh, I guess 53 and X are accounted for as well. So we're really narrowing it down. Oh, and 41. 41 accounted for. We're in a very good state right now, because if we look at my chart for the Doom Part 2, there is literally only that guy. That one guy that we haven't worked out yet. He's the only person that I don't know that much information about. We have numbers 57 and 36, who both go onto the boat that gets tipped over by the Kraken. They are... I don't know which one's which. Haven't worked that out quite yet. I just know that the both of them meet that fate. And then the only person left from the Doom Part 2 who I've not identified, at least in terms of who they are, if not how they died, is the guy in the unmarked hammock, who is the guy that we tried to work out and haven't been able to quite yet. And we've narrowed him down to 2 people. We know that he's either 58 or 59 or 38. And if we look, yeah, so 59 is George Shirley Seaman from England, and 38 is Huang Li Topman from China. And I don't know which one he is. The uniform makes me think Topman. I need to... maybe the clue is in the seaman uniform. Maybe that is the distinctive one, and that's how we work it out. So let's have a quick check of who we know in that way. So Lars Linder's a seaman. Well, he's wearing white with a black collar. Does that match up with the others? This guy's a seaman. We can't really see. It looks like white with a black collar again. Maybe the shoes are the key with this one. Maybe they always have the same shoes. Oh, and we did look at the shoes of the people in those 2 hammocks. So we need to actually go look at the guy. We need to find him. So you... Hang on. What? I need to check the scene again, because I didn't properly memorize which one was which. One of them was this sort of more open shoe. One of them had buttons. And I didn't properly pay attention to which one was which. So we'll just hop back in and check. And I'll write it down. So bits of call part 1 of 3, so on and so forth. Don't care about you. Where are they? Is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, it's over here. So this was the table, this is where it was. This guy here was at the table, and we know who he was. I've already forgotten who he was, so I'm going to check again. He was number 41, and number 41 was... Whaley, yep, that's all sorted. So then these 2, one of these 2. So number 38, the more open shoes. I'm going to write it down. 38, open shoes. Number 59, button shoes. And that might be a rank thing as well as just a thing for working at individual people. In which case we could have a bit more of a poke around for some other shoes and see if there's more matching up going on. This guy's got something wrong with his legs, I feel like. Maybe he's wearing leggings or something, though. I mean, these just look different from anything. This is 40. So I don't know what 40 would be. That would probably be seaman. No, that's probably Topman at 40. So they're closed shoes. Don't see buttons on them, though. Also a bit of clipping there. Oh, dear. Buttons? Nope, no buttons. Poke around. These guys here are all seamen, we know that. So button shoes. Button shoes. Oh, okay. They look buttoned as well, though it's harder to see. Oh yeah, no, I see the buttons. And this guy... They look like button shoes. Okay, I think we found our greater clue here. 59, definitely a seaman with that higher number. That's buttoned. Can't see this, guys. 55. I can clip through and look at this. Oh, those are just dark colored, which probably mean that they're closed shoes. These are closed shoes. These guys here, I can't see because they're in shadow under the table, but they're all look like closed shoes. Oh, but then this guy should have open. Oh, I don't see it. Yeah, also, I looked at the cards a bit more. This guy's holding what looks like 3 aces, but none of them are like a duplicate of this guy's ace, which is the clubs. He's got the ace of clubs, the 4 of clubs, and the 6 or 7 of hearts. And then this guy here's got the ace of spades and hearts, and then what looks like it's going to be an ace of something. Probably diamonds, so maybe nobody's cheating here. And you can't look at this guy's hand, it's not possible. You can't get the right angle. It looks like maybe an ace, though. In which case there are too many aces on the table. But that's all I can get, so I don't think you can work out who's cheating from this. But yeah, so the shoes are the key. So when we narrow it down to 2 people and there are different ranks, the shoes will be the clincher. When they are closed shoes with buttons, they are seamen, and when it's something else, then they are top men or other things like that. So let's go take a look at the guy in one of the scenes in the Doom. We're going to have a bit of a poke around and work out which scene. It's going to be like 3 or 4. Probably 3, I would guess, because everyone's up and out of bed at that point. Actually, no, we can look in scene 2. Oh, I'm not looking in scene 2. I'm not listening to that again. We're going to scene 3. Which one's this one? This is 4. 3 is this guy, I think. Yep, there you are. 3. There we are. Okay. Here's the guy. Closed shoes, I think. It looks like it. Just let these guys finish what they're doing. Okay. Yeah. They look like closed to me. I'm not 100% sure, actually, but it seems like it's... Yeah, it'd be, like, lighter colored otherwise, I think. Oh, we can zoom in a bit. Yeah, that's buttons. I see the buttons. So that guy is number 59. He is... Oh, if we can... Yep, come on. He is George Shirley, seaman from England. That's my guess. And that is everyone with a visible face, I believe, worked out. I don't think there's anyone else that we haven't accounted for. Yep, looks good to me. Alright. So now we can move on to the next part of the story. Just making extra sure. Pretty sure we've got absolutely everyone covered. Okay, let's go. And we didn't have to go back to the Doom Part 2, thankfully. Hate that scene. Okay, so let's go have a wander. We've got 2 options. We've got the guy who died in the port walk. Yeah, I know my ship directions. We have the guy who died in the port walk. We also have the boot hanging from the window, and I find this one brilliant, and I'm fascinated by it. Also, I did notice, I think this might actually be an error, but we might find out when we look at the scene, but when the first mate opens this door in that one scene, when you look through, nothing is hanging there, but this death must have happened before then, because we've seen all the deaths that happened since he leaves the room. So the guy may have been, like, strung up higher, and then as he's decomposed, he's fallen further down. It's a little bit strange, but we're going to look at this one. I wonder if this is supposed to be, like, a more hidden one that you're supposed to struggle to find, or whether this is just the next one you're supposed to see. But we'll look at this, and then we'll end for today. Oh, and by the way, speaking of the port and starboard walk, everyone was telling me about how they work. So the way it works is when there's boarders, you can move into the walks and shoot through the little gaps, because, of course, boarders have to come down the stairs, and the walks have windows viewing the stairs, so you can fire upon anyone that makes their way down. Also, the little window in the armory is actually for putting a lantern in. It's like a glass window, so you put a lantern in there to light up the room without there being any danger of the flame lighting any of the gunpowder in there, because that would blow a massive hole in the ship. And yeah, I think the other reason for the port and starboard walks is for maintenance of the hull. So by having those things there, the carpenter could make his way down and repair any damage to the hull, whereas if you just had everything up against the walls, you'd have to move everything out of the way to be able to get to the walls to repair them. So, clever ship design stuff, and I think that was all the interesting stuff people told me. There was probably other things as well, actually. Maybe someone said what the lazarette was, I can't remember. Yeah, lots of interesting ship knowledge being imparted in the chat, but let's have a look in the comments, sorry. Been on Twitch a lot lately and streaming and stuff. Let's have a look at what this guy's, what horrible fate befell him. In fact, the ropes. Is this the guy, is this Lars Linda, is this Samuel Peters?
Go back there! Here. Captain! Slack the lifts and lower the boats! The whole crew will be on us! Give it up!
What was that about? Well, there was a female Chinese voice, and there was only one of those on board. That's one of the Formosan royalty. Some sort of hostage situation going on? Who is this guy? Have we seen him before? He's the one of the mates, second mate, I think. Second or fourth. Grabs her and shoots at this guy. Maybe he's just saved her from this guy. Oh, and he's got the tattoo! Okay, so this isn't the beginning of the voyage. Yeah, so he's got that on his arm. Gets shot. Who else is in the scene? That guy over there is... Oh, so someone here as well. Who's this? New one of the people that does the execution. And there's a guy over here. Looks new as well. Okay. Part 3. Murder. By the Canary Islands. What is that, a scale? Outside the first mate's window, the corpse was moved post-mortem. 11 others were present. On your toes, boys. Who's this? How did they die? Look at this again. On your toes, how can you do this? Load her up, we best push off. Give her ear, will ya? And then the guy that dies says give it up, so he's trying to help here, sounds like then. He's trying to help rescue the lady who's being kidnapped by the fourth mate? Second mate? And they're trying to escape in a boat before the whole crew arrives. And there's another body here, so this isn't the start of this. This might be the end. Got some chickens about and stuff. And a pig. And yeah, so this... Yeah, he looks like he's cuffed. So are they bundling him onto the boat? Maybe they're getting him off the boat. It sort of looks like... You can't tell from this guy. Are they rescuing these people? I don't know. Oh, God. Oh! The execution! It's happened. And recently. And this guy here is upset about it. Lars. Oh. Is this the execution? It's right where I thought it would be. Why is he upset? It looked like I'm wondering if this is. Oh, there's someone else. There's a lot going on here. As usual, we've come in at the end of the story, so there's some things need working out. Oh dear. He's been stabbed. Is that the helmsman? It is. I guess he recovers. Nice to see people being injured and not fatally for once. Seems like everyone dies in this. Funnily enough. Wonder why that's the case. Yeah, so, and then this guy, one of the mates, one of the stewards even, and a big old chunky cabinet scale. What is that? And whoever that guy is, so the Formosan royalty's here, but the guards aren't. Either of them. As far as I can tell. Well, actually, oh, hold on. Let me go back to this guy, because do we just identify him when we look at him? Let's see. Yep, there we go. As I thought, one of the guards. Where's the other guard? Because surely he should be here if his charges of being kidnapped? That's what it looks like. I think, like with all of them, we're going to have to look at the whole picture. Go through the whole chain of events, and then we will be able to start piecing together the story. But first, let's... Oh, I don't know why I left when, obviously, that was the corpse in the scene. Let's go back. I think this is a little two-part thing going on here. That's what it seems like to me, that there's two different timelines to murder, and this is a second one. The first one being that guy killing someone then getting executed. That's going to be my wild guess. Let's go have a look. I mean, maybe he... No, he didn't kill the other guy. The guy was in the sketch. And I've just realized those sketches must have been made at different times. Oh, come on. Just get to the corpse, will ya? There we go. And there he is. Hanging from nothing, which is quite interesting. And we can see him better now, I think. Yeah, Lars was unhappy about this. Is this Samuel Peters? It doesn't seem... No, it's not Samuel. We know it's not that. That's one of the guards. So why was Lars there? What was Lars doing here? Why was he upset about it? Was it did he set things in motion? Did he make some mistakes that caused all this? Did whatever he did with the ropes to Samuel cause this trouble? I'm wondering if that's where we find this out. But then I think... No, Samuel dies in loose cargo. He's got to. That's chapter 1. I mean, the name of the chapter and the way he seemed to have died indicates that to me. So I'm wondering what Lars is doing here. What's going on with him? Very strange. We shall have to see, but I think we'll have to leave it for today. Next episode, we'll have a look at the rest of the events of murder, and then try and piece it all together and see what on earth's happening with these Formosans. Why people are trying to kidnap them, or whatever, or sneak them away, or God knows what. But with that, I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.